Yep, we just did a Pep Guardiola tactic, so what better way to balance it out than a Klopp tactic? Of course we do. So this is the Klopp Red Liverpool 4-3-3 tactic. As you can see, it is a positive mentality tactic in a 4-3-3 formation. There is some information on the Steam Workshop. I don't know what version they're using, however. It looks like the mobile or touch version maybe, but still striving to restore Klopp's Liverpool style, oppressive, fast, efficient, and keep making progress. It looks like they use Panthiakos in the Greek league, and then in the Dutch league, they use FC20. So I don't exactly know. There's a little bit of information that they could have put in. However, there are screenshots. They did very well. They tried it with 5 major leagues from strong to weak, representing Arsenal, Lecce, and Girona. So they're all still doing well, apparently. But how does it do in our teams in the Premier League with our 3 teams? Let's find out. So, as you can see, the tactic itself is a sweeper, keeper, and attack. We always see those. We have a complete wingback in attack on both the left and the right. Ball playing defenders in defend in both spots, a DM in support, a box to box in support, and then a central midfielder in attack, and then inside forwards on both sides, and then an advanced forward up front. Again, positive mentality. In possession, you have attacking with is fairly wide, play out of defense, slightly shorter passing directness, tempo is higher, low crosses in the final third, work the ball in the box. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly, and roll it out. And then out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a higher defensive line, so very Klopp right there. And then trigger press much more often and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. But again, how did it do with other 3 teams? Well, as you can see, not too bad. Tottenham finally finishing out in the 3rd spot. Manchester City at 94 and Liverpool at 97. It's going to be hard to beat those. Tottenham, though, in 3rd with 73 points. Not too bad. We've seen some tactics that they've kind of been are in and around that area. Wolves in 6th is fantastic with 68, though. Newcastle in 8th with 61. So far, it's looking like the Pep Guardiola tactic definitely beats this Klopp tactic, unfortunately. Tottenham's schedule is very shaky to start out with 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in the first month. But they do kind of continue on with September to nice, not too bad set of results. October, not great. November, not too bad. So overall, where are they dropping out? Champions League, they're not doing all that great. FA Cup 3rd round, they continue on. 4th round, Champions League round of 16, losing to Real Madrid. And then, losing the 2nd round to Real Madrid. So they're out of the Champions League. Continuing on, though, in the FA Cup. Continuing on, and all the way to Liverpool, where they, funny enough, ironically enough, they do lose out to Klopp's Liverpool at 0-2 in the FA Cup final. Did they do anything in the EFL Cup? Nope, they lost in the 3rd round to Everton. Wolves doing kind of spotty themselves, but not too. I mean, they've got a couple of reds in the first half, but overall, they've still got some nice runs. 8-0 over Rotherham for the EFL Cup 3rd round, though. They do lose out in the FA Cup to West Ham in the 3rd round. Continuing on in the EFL Cup, the quarters, the semis, the semifinal, and then finally winning out against Arsenal 2-1 in the EFL Cup final. So you do have another cup right there, but right after that, completely horrific. Just a couple wins there. You do win out in the final of the season, Newcastle, but still, 2 losses, 2 losses, 2 losses, kind of a bad trend. And as we talk about Newcastle, their schedule looks not too bad, actually. A couple more draws here and there. Hopefully you could pick up wins. Against Brighton, a loss against Southampton, a draw against Fulham. So overall, I think you could probably do a little bit better here and there. You do lose out in the quarters against Sheffield United, 2-2 in penalties. But continuing on up until the semis against Liverpool, 0-3 in the FA Cup is where you drop out. And it just continues on spottiness. Tottenham's transfers, a couple of new people in. You have Acuna from Sevilla, 13.75. Dominguez, we've seen. Pereira from Benfica, I think we've seen for 1.3. Josep Chutalo, we've seen from Dynamo Zagreb. And then John Arias from Fluminense, 5.75. And then outs, you do have a 10.75 out from Tanganga to Borussia Dortmund. I think we've seen that before. Miguel Veloso is Wolves' only in with 325k from Hellas Verona. And then Lembikisa out, we've seen before. And then Kai Kennedy for Newcastle and Ronnie Edwards from Peterborough, 2.1. We've seen him before, I believe. And then Mark Gillespie to Crystal Palace for 75k. That is really it. Not a lot in the transfer window this season. Data hub for Tottenham, shaky defensively, very good in attack. And as you can see, all around in attack is not too bad. Some really high numbers on the top and side. But you do have a couple that are Premier League average, but still nothing in the gray, which is what you want to see. Team defending, though, yeah, not all that great. Very limited. Unfortunately, only conceded per game is not great, above the league average, and then expected goals against. Wolves also shaky in defense and very good in attack. You can see attacking wise, they have fantastic set of results. Nothing in the gray, which is what you want to see. But team defending, everything is right around league average except on some of the clearances per game, the blocks per game, which you really would have loved to have seen a little bit better there. And Newcastle is very similar, shaky defensively, very good in attack. As you can see, everything Premier League average or above, and team defending pretty much everything Premier League average or below. So not great there. Most goals for the entire Premier League, Newcastle, Wolves, and Tottenham up there. Newcastle beating out Manchester City with 83 to 81 goals, so pretty nice there. Fewer shots against Tottenham and Wolves. You've got some other things here. Most dribbles made, there you go. But fewest conceded, Tottenham and Wolves. Newcastle not in there, unfortunately. But you got some most shutouts as well, most tackles, nothing in the defensive pieces. Most shots for all three teams, and most points per game, roughly as you would expect. Most goals, Isaac with 20, Kane with 17, pretty much bang on average for all of them. Most assists, Sarabi with 15, and then Acuna there with 9, so not too bad of a pickup there. Most player of the match awards, Almiron, Isaac, and Nunez, all in the top 10, nice to see. And then you've got a couple things. Fewest conceded, Hugo Lloris and Nick Pope are usually there. Same with most shutouts for Lloris and Sa. Most tackles won. Wow, no defensive pieces whatsoever. Most key passes, the Sarabi and Trippier are always up there. And finishing out with the player stats for all competitions, Harry Kane with 29 goals. Not a bad tally. Not his highest by far, but still not a bad tally. Harry Kane with 717, not too bad. Most assists, Acuna with 14, and then most player of the match awards, Kane with 9. Wolves, of course, Cunha with 18 goals, not too bad there. Nunez with 722, Sarabi with 19 assists, and then Nunez with 6 player of the match awards. Pretty much bang on average for Wolves throughout most of the stuff that we've seen from them. Newcastle, Isaac with 24 goals, not too bad there. 726 highest average rating, 12 assists for Alan St. Maximin, so he stays. This time around, Almiron and Isaac both with 6 player of the match awards apiece. So overall, I mean, some numbers that are a little bit higher than general, but others that are bang on average. Overall, however, the Pep Guardiola tactic definitely did a lot better than this one, but it's still, I mean, you've got Newcastle in 8th is the lowest with 61 points. Okay, the point tally is not great, but Wolves with 68, Tottenham with 73, not too bad whatsoever. But if you are going to look, I mean, if you're looking at a 4-3-3, there are others that are probably better than this, but you wouldn't probably hurt yourself to look at this one as kind of a starting point and just kind of build your own team from there. The Pep Guardiola one is a little bit more specific with 4 up front and then everyone else just sitting far behind. So it is a little bit riskier, but if you reap the rewards, then you're doing a lot better than these guys. But that is it for me, 7FM for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.